Pain. Everyone's experienced it. Whether it's a headache, sore knee, thrown out back, or cramps, pain is nearly impossible to escape as we continue our active lives as humans. Some of us experience acute pain, that is, quickly occurring and able to be healed effectively, and others, chronic pain, long-lasting and perhaps even with no obvious cause. Despite differences in cause and duration, one thing that stays consistent about pain is just how painful it is. It hurts, and you may find yourself reaching towards the nearest cabinet for an ibuprofen to tame the large waves of discomfort. But what if I told you your daily walk could be just as effective? I'm sure we're all aware of exercise as a tool to control weight. But indirectly, exercise is able to mitigate pain by avoiding chronic conditions like obesity, cancer, stroke, hypertension, and high blood cholesterol. These conditions promote chronic pain and reinforce a sedentary lifestyle, in turn creating a toxic paradox of pain and disease. But pain is also able to be directly addressed by exercise. This process, though seemingly complicated, is our biological mechanism created by our body to provide comfort in times of stress. The only question is, how? Well, one of the first ways exercise helps to mitigate pain is in the production of endorphins. These neurotransmitters help to increase feelings of happiness and reinforce positive mood regulation. Some of these include dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. If you've ever felt a runner's high, these same endorphins are responsible for creating that feeling of mental serenity and warmth. On a more complex neurological level, exercise actually helps to increase pain threshold. That is, it works to increase one's physical tolerance to pain, similar to an armor that, despite constant chaos, is unable to be penetrated. Only, with exercise, our armor grows stronger and stronger, impermeable to pain. Well, mostly. The pain-numbing-like effect exercise has on the body is called Exercise Induced Analgesia. In one study, it was found that exercise was able to increase pain threshold and reduce pain locally in the remote site of pain, particularly for those with osteoarthritis, fibromyalgia, and neck and shoulder pain. Other studies show that exercise decreases something called temporal summation, or excitability of the brain, leading to heightened pain sensitivity. It does this by activating central inhibitory pathways and producing natural opiates and serotonin. When activated in a part of the brain called the rostral ventromedial medulla, analgesia takes into effect and quells the pain. It also reinforces these systems, ensuring that when one encounters similar pain again, the same routine can take place and pain threshold increases. In a more overlooked manner, exercise is a wonderful anti-inflammatory. You see, our fat or adipose tissue consists of adipokines, which induce a low-grade chronic inflammation. Low-grade chronic inflammation also increases nerve sensitivity and pain. Well, what decreases adipose tissue? Why, exercise, of course. By exercising, adipose tissue decreases, and so will adipokines, decreasing inflammation as a result. Another anti-inflammatory effect of exercise, the production of something called anti-inflammatory interleukins, which help to decrease inflammation by inhibiting it. Exercise also decreases the amount of pro-inflammatory monocytes, macrophages, and cytokines. In short, exercise fights inflammation, which is a common cause of heightened nerve sensitivity and subsequent pain. Perhaps one of the most obvious ways that exercise fights pain is in the strengthening of bones and muscles. I mean, you probably have a friend or family member that visits a physical therapist once in a while. Well, such practices help to decrease poor, unregulated movement of muscular tissue by reinforcing stability in the joints and building muscle. It also decreases the likelihood that you'll be injured again. A good example of this is the strengthening of hypermobile ankles that face recurring sprains. Proper exercise and strengthening decreases the chance that they'll get sprained again and encourages proper movement. This leads us to an important point. Well, now we know that exercise is important, but exercise comes in all shapes and forms. How can we know just what exercise to take for our pain? What is the magic cure? Well, research supports aerobic and strength training for conditions like fibromyalgia and heightened nerve sensitivity for reasons we've discussed. Increased pain threshold, endorphins, and strengthened muscles and joints. To list a few examples, this includes walking, swimming, cycling, weightlifting, martial arts, and more. Even yoga has been found to play a significant role in addressing pain, calming the central nervous system, and improving agility. On a personal level, it reinforces a sense of control over the body when chronic pain may feel cumbersome. And it's not just those with pain who should be exercising regularly. It's everyone. According to the World Health Association, for adults aged 18 through 64, one should partake in at least 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensive aerobic activity, or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity per week. Muscle strengthening at least 2 days a week involving the major muscle groups is also vital. It's important that people who do have pain, however, pace themselves so as not to tire out their system. If done without caution or inhibition, exercise as a therapy can have a maladaptive effect. Still, counter to what many people may believe, sometimes staying in bed and resting isn't always the right answer. It's important to make an effort in order to have autonomy over your health. This includes how you feel. Every step counts, and you can start today. Skip the ibuprofen, or don't, but take that walk.